Hey, Nick Thomas here with InfoSecSync at the 10th Annual National Cyber Summit here in Huntsville, Alabama. And I'm sitting here with Jonathan Pettus. Jonathan is the former NASA Assistant Associate Director at Marshall Space Flight Center. He's also a former CIO of Marshall and former NASA CIO. He just retired last week, 27 years at NASA. Big change for him, and now he's the Dynetics Director of Cybersecurity and IT Solutions. Welcome, Jonathan Pettus.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
So, Jonathan, what are you doing over at Dynetics now?
Well, as you said, my title is Director of Cybersecurity and IT Solutions, and so just joined the firm Monday, and I am going to be working to help continue to evolve the company's cyber solutions capability, and also our IT services capability across the different lines of business that we have.
Okay.
And so I'm excited about it. I think it was very difficult to leave NASA.
Yeah, definitely.
After being there for 27 years. I think it'll always be in my blood, but the leadership at Dynetics I'm familiar with, actually some former NASA leaders, and I was really attracted by the diversity of what the company's doing in terms of combination of product manufacturing, engineering services, and really a legacy, a history of the types of technology that today are becoming so critical in cyber. Sensors, radar, some really early work, frankly, kind of not a, it's a well-kept secret, quite frankly. There's a lot of work early that the company did with the automotive industry in the SCADA arena.
Yes.
And so I was really attracted to that diversity, and of course, having been a CIO and worked in that arena at a place like NASA, and then moved into leadership, senior leadership above the CIO world. I have an appreciation, I think, for the magnitude of the challenges and how to bridge the gap between kind of the executive leadership and the folks that are really working hard to protect and secure our information.
Yeah, going from CIO the next step up, it's a really big picture that you're looking at that you never saw before because you were just focused on IT security. So that's what Jonathan's been doing, and actually he's now my former boss because I'm still there. He's gone forward. Tell us a little bit about the Cyber Summit and what Dynetics is doing here.
Yeah. So Dynetics is the diamond sponsor this year, and we're very proud of that. It's quite opportunistic for me in my first week in joining Dynetics to be here at this event that brings together so many leaders around the nation in cyber, and just the agenda itself is, to me, the most impressive agenda that we've had.
I concur with that.
Yeah.
It's great this year.
I had a chance to introduce our second speaker this morning, Dr. Ron Ross, who was here just a moment ago. And Ron and I worked together for years in Washington, and I frankly think he's one of the critical thought leaders in the cybersecurity space in the world, and certainly within the nation. And to have him here and keynote this conference is sort of indicative of how much it's grown. I was actually the keynote speaker at the first version of this conference about 10 years ago.
Yep.
In its humble beginnings. I think we had probably 100 or maybe 150 people at that
Little
summit.
Small.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure we were using the word cyber very much.
Information assurance probably at that time.
Yeah, and so I think, even at that point, there was certainly an awareness of how cyber was going to impact our world, but I don't think we could have even appreciated within this 10-year period how pervasive it's become across every walk of life. And this summit kind of highlights that, because it's not just a summit focused on defense contractors or federal government work. We have speakers from Google, people from the financial industry, people from all walks of manufacturing and infrastructure that are attending here. And that title of National Cyber Summit was a goal, and I think we've really crossed that line this year where
definitely have.
It's truly a national event. And
we're getting more people showing up. With the new ATPs that are coming out, things that are happening in cyber, Internet of Things, everyone's involved now. Everyone's curious about how to protect themselves. So
yeah,
I think that's a really good thing.
As we were waiting to introduce Dr. Ross this morning, I reached down to turn my phone off, and I actually was getting a phone call And ironically, the entity that was calling me it said garage doors. And so the story is, and I was telling Ron about this, is after about a decade in my house, I've had to replace my garage door openers. Well, of course, I got an intelligent, the folks installed an intelligent Wi-Fi enabled garage door capability. And for the first time, I was sort of surprised to see my garage doors calling me. And I was just telling him how ironic that was as we think about how pervasive cyber issues have become. Is, you know, when you reach the point where you're at a cyber event and your garage doors are calling you for the first time, it's sort of
your fridge is telling you need to get milk. So why was your garage door calling you?
But the installer was getting our system installed.
Oh,
we needed connected with our phones. My wife obviously gave him my cell phone number, and boom, my garage doors were calling me. So I remember actually speaking at this event about 6 years ago and talking about a scenario where it was how to turn a toaster into a strategic weapon.
Yep.
And it was a great little sort of scenario or vignette that indicated what was to come in the world of Internet of Things. And I think, we were talking more futuristically then, and here we are now, and it's all around
Now
us.
we're talking about the Amazon Echo Dots or listening into people, the Nest thermostats. You could burn someone's thermostat off, or maybe their house with things. And that's when ICS, OT, and SCADA come in. And so we need to start protecting the critical infrastructure and all those things. So Jonathan, any last thoughts before we go here?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Again, Dynetics is thrilled to be the Diamond sponsor this year. I hope the people that are attending here, I'm confident that they're going to really benefit from this. And I think, my hope would be this would be very indicative to people all around the nation that, the history of Huntsville in terms of the research and technology capability we have here in this community. There's no better place for us to have evolved this capability in cyber, and it continues to grow. There's a real requirement for it. I think this summit highlights the capability that's here, and I hope for next year it to be even better. And again, thank you for the opportunity to have a chance to chat with you.
All right, Jonathan, thanks so much, and thanks for staying in sync with InfoSecSync.
All right, very
thanks.
much.